بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. We welcome you, my friends. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In this tafsir reflection on chapter 49, Surat Al Hujurat, the chambers. And we have reached so far verse number 6, where it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. And let me recite the translation. O who you believe, if an iniquitous person comes to you, it means a liar, someone who is immoral, comes to you with tidings, with news, then be discerning. فَتَبَيَّنُوا. You have to verify that, lest you harm a people out of ignorance and become remorseful over what, over that which you have done. Social harmony and social cohesion is paramount in our faith. Respecting people's dignity, people's reputation, respecting each other. Islam is not a faith in abstract. Islam is a faith that is grounded here on earth, not in the air. It means a faith in a society, within a society, human society. A faith of a practice. A faith that you get engaged with. Not something that you just carry in your mind. Islam is about a practice. Islam is about behavior. Islam is about thinking. Islam is about relationships. Islam is about sayings. Islam is about actions. Islam is about everything. Islam means life, synonymous to life. Life means everything, and Islam means everything too. Islam is not cordoned in a mosque, in a space called mosque. Islam is in your bedroom, in your living room, in your guest room, in your garden, in your market, in your school, in your hospital, in your street, in your neighborhood. Islam is everywhere. The manners of Islam are everywhere. They encompass everything. And therefore, when we separate between mosque, what is inside the mosque and what is outside the mosque, we develop a problem here. We are saying that Islam should be only confined in the mosque and cannot be in the market. I don't practice it in the market. I don't practice it in the family, in the society. This is a problem. This is a problem. Islam is a set of manners, relationships, etiquettes, protocols. And I'm not saying let's use the protocol of Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia in London and Paris and New York. No. Islam can adapt to any society. Islam says, be good. Now this goodness in Afghanistan, it could give a meaning. In Saudi Arabia, another meaning. In Damascus, a third meaning. In Casablanca, a fourth meaning. And in Madrid, Paris, London, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, another meaning. So we are not saying, I don't want you to misunderstand me and think that I'm saying let's import the tradition, the customs of the East and put them in the West. No, this is not my point. I'm saying let's adhere to the spirit of Islam, to the values of Islam. These values are universal. They can be applied in every corner, but according to the time and the people and the space and the necessities of the time. So we don't have to bring the customs of one nation and impose it into another. No. And therefore, the Quran here says, when someone is iniquitous, a sinful person, جاءكم بنبأ فتبينوا. You have to verify. You have to make sure. فتبينوا means تثبتوا. Make sure that this is correct. Ascertainment, that you have to make sure that this tidings, this news, this analysis, this information is not fake, is not made up by someone who's sick and who wants to destroy two families or two societies or two countries together. We are on a fact-finding mission, my friends. We, the Muslims, should be always on a fact-finding mission. Before you believe anything, whether the TV is saying this, the New York Times, Jerusalem Post, or Uqad, Saudi Arabian magazine, it doesn't matter. Any media outlet, be it Islamic, non-Islamic, secular, European, American, Middle Eastern, Persian, before believing, you have to use your brain. You have to verify, is this right or wrong? Is this fake news or true news? Is this something being made up to provoke you, to mislead you, and to pit you against each other? Or this is something real? فَتَبَيَّنُوا. Whether it's political news, economic news, social news, family news, war news, peace news, doesn't matter. Whether you read it on your tweets, on your Facebook, on a screen of a television, you hear it outside, whether it comes from a university professor, a rabbi, an imam, a pastor, a politician, a prime minister, make sure that this is right. Don't act upon this unless you make sure that this is right. Because we live now during the age of rumors and gossip. Rumors. And rumors, they spread so fast. Today, a rumor, you can circulate the rumor in 7 continents within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes. Through modern technology. So be careful. Don't be naive. Be careful, because the results are otherwise are catastrophic. Because you're going to accuse others. You're going to bear hate against them when you hear something from them, and then it turns that this thing is not true. It's not true. It has been orchestrated by some sick people, iniquitous, liars, to sow the seeds of tension and division among the believers in your community, in your society. So be careful. Examine that news and make sure that this is right. Make sure before you spread it, before even you say it to your wife, to the closest people to you, make sure that it is right. If it is not right, you have to dump it. Don't repeat it. Don't try to relive this again or spread it. Societies that is governed and run by rumors and gossips, they are incoherent societies. In fact, irrational societies. They do not have rational value. They do not have intellectual value. And these societies, in my opinion, are non-Islamic societies, even if they pray 5 times a day. Even if they fast the whole month of Ramadan. Because they are not adhering to the teachings of their books, to the principles of their books. They are not adhering to the Quran where it says, فَتَبَيَّنُوا. Verify before you believe these rumors. Verify. Do not deprive yourself of reason or sound judgment. Verify. Sometimes these rumors are spread by someone iniquitous, someone who is vicious and liar. We know. There is someone who is a liar behind them. And he wants to keep people busy attacking each other. He wants to keep the society busy in gossiping, so they cannot advance, they cannot move forward. He wants people to hate each other and be suspicious of each other. So this is one group, those who are liars, fasiq, according to the Quran, fasiq, iniquitous. The second group who spread these false rumors are people who are good. They have good intention. They are believers too. They are not vicious, neither they are liars, but they are gullible. They are naive, simple-minded. When they hear something, they get emotional. And before they double-check, before they verify, before they ask a second opinion about what is being said, they send it right away. And now we have the WhatsApp, you have the Telegram, you have the Viber, you have the Facebook, and you have the Twitter, and you have the Google, and you have the, what else I would say? The Instagram. What else do we have? Amir, do you know of any? We have these means, okay? These are social media. And we have these, it makes our job easier. In the past, it would take you one day to get the news from one village into another village. 1 week from one country into another country. Now, 1 second. 1 second from one continent into another continent. 1 second. So, sometimes the people are good. They are nice. They are not vicious. But they don't pay attention because they are gullible. They are gullible. And a Muslim should not be gullible or naive. A Muslim should incorporate his or her reason. In a third instance, the rumors are spread and the fake news are spread by someone who is good also. He's good. He's not vicious or liar. But he sits with the group. Most of this group are pro this idea, so he tries to imply that I am one of you. This is called favoritism. He's siding with them. He knows inside that this idea is not good. This news is not right. It's fake. But to be part of a larger group, to fit in with them, to join them, to practice favoritism with them, he doesn't say anything. Or sometimes he knows this is wrong, but he will join them in spreading this. This is also not good. My friends, when we see something wrong, we have to say. Don't be silent. Say it, but with politeness, with adab. Even if that person is a scholar, a leader, political leader, religious leader, and you look at yourself as being his student, his follower, you are a lay person. Still, when you think that something is not right and you know it's not right, this news is not right, this analysis is not right, this thing did not even happen, then don't go and tell him, yes, it happened, or agree with him, or be silent when you hear that he thinks this happened. Don't remain silent. Say something. Show some reaction. Alert him. Tell him in a nice way, sir, but this is not right. This is not correct. You are right, but this is not correct. You are not a liar. You speak the truth. But this piece of news, We verified that, and it is not correct. You must say this. You must have the courage to say this, especially the young generation among you. Now with the old generation, we can't do anything. But the young generation like you wants to establish good ethics in their communities, who's supposed to be role models in their families. You must not submit and succumb to wrongdoings, to injustice. You may say it, but in a polite way, in a nice way. So what is the story of this verse? Number 6, إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. مفسرون, the exegetes, they say, نزلت في الوليد بن عقبة, a person from Bani Umayyah, the clan of Umayyah. The Prophet ﷺ assigned him the task of going and collecting the alms from a tribe outside Medina called Bani al-Mustalaq. So he went there and he saw the adhan. But they were overtaken by their emotions, so they jumped off of their seats and they ran towards him. There was some commotion. When they saw him, he thought, because of his sick mind and because of his past with them, before Islam he had a problem with this tribe. So he thought that they are intending evil, to do him evil, to hurt him, to murder him, because they started running towards him. He perceived that as an act of evil. But in fact, when they ran towards him, they did not want to hurt him. They were excited that he's there. And this happens, my friends. Believe me, it happens sometimes among the friends, that you intend to do something good to your friend, but he perceives this goodness as being evil. You try to help, and he perceives this help or this support as being something against him, or as being hurt rather than help. Sometimes people do not think healthy because of this climate of suspicion, so they perceive everything, even the good gestures, they perceive them with suspicion. One of them, you smile to him as a gesture of respect and admiration, or love, let's say, love, compassion. You smile. He perceived the smile as being ridiculed by you, rather than, complimenting on this. He starts complaining. He misunderstands. And this is what happened to this man. This man, they were welcoming him, but he thought, إِنَّهُمْ يُرِيدُونَ قَتْلَهُ. So right away he left back to the Prophet and he said to the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, not only they didn't pay the alms, the zakat, they intended to kill me. They stood, there was commotion, they came towards me to murder me. So the Prophet ordered the army to be prepared. Here, based on the news of this iniquitous man, here Jibreel came immediately with this verse. إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. Be careful. Be careful. Verify the news. This iniquitous is unreliable. Sometimes an honest, trustworthy person brings you the news. It is credible. This is why we have in Islamic jurisprudence حجية خبر الواحد. حجية means legitimacy of a person, single reporter, single narrator, but he is reliable. So even if he's single, there is no other reports like him, then we would accept it from him. Because he's what? Because he's reliable. But if he's not reliable, even if they are 50 people, but they are not reliable, you cannot trust them. You cannot depend on what they say. My friends, a person who's iniquitous, his testimony is rejected in legal matters. This is why they don't summon him as a witness. Again, in the Islamic law, a witness has to be adil. Adil. Shahidani adilan. To see the moon, we need at least two people who are reliable, trustworthy. But if that person is iniquitous and liar, then we can't accept his testimony. Unfortunately, he loses his credit. Even when sometimes he says something right, still they would not accept that from him. Why? Because of his history. His history is contaminated. One last thing I say before we leave. Once you hear something from someone, try to verify it by listening to the other side. A wife comes to you complaining about her husband. A husband comes to you complaining about his wife. Don't believe this husband unless you hear from the wife too, the story of the other side too. Don't hear one story and then base your judgment upon that story. You have to hear both sides, both stories. Why? Because sometimes when someone has a problem or a conflict with someone else, he would not tell you what is against him. All what he comes and tells you what is for him, what is in his interest. And therefore, you're going to judge that situation with a biased view. And this is not good. Don't do that. Always, if you are an arbiter, if you are a judge, if you want to bring two people together, you must listen to both sides, both arguments, and then you base your judgment after verifying what both say, not just one of them. إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. Be careful before you do anything, lest you bring damage to people unawareingly, because you don't know. You knew nothing about them, and you misjudged them, and you're going to hurt them, and you're going to hurt yourself. We will continue on the beautiful lessons of this chapter, Surat Al Hujurat. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
رمضان ليتك دوما